Hey everybody, welcome to Obscurities in Miniature. Recently I showed off the Blessed Claws of Ziskal here from Archvillain games, and I gotta say, when they did their Agama or Old World Rising, whatever the release was called, I was more than impressed by the quality of their giant lizards. And you know what? Just one was not enough for me, so we went ahead and printed more. Today though, we are going to be looking at a new type of lizard. Today we're going to look at the Fleshripper. But one Fleshripper isn't enough, so let's get two. Let's get the Man Cutter, which is a Fleshripper that's got a rider. Whereas the big one is going to be the Scion of Ziskal. And you, my friend, are just going to have to exit stage left. I think it's left. I can't tell. But anyway, these big old massive pizza pie deep dish pizza looking bases are home to some quite nicely sculpted theropods. They're basically dragons at this point though. So this is the larger one. There are two, as I said. Nice and big chunky pieces for those of you who like that kind of thing. Curly claws. Big feet, and very whip-like tail, surprisingly. I found that interesting. So those are all the parts for the big guy. Oh, no, never mind. We don't have any claws for him. Interestingly enough, speaking of these claws, is you actually have an option of making him with or without feathers adorning those said claws. So we'll set all that to the side there. And let's take a look at the Man Cutter. Well, here is the Man Cutter. With his axes and stuff. And you can go squat on the base over there in the corner. And then actually, the Man Cutter has a much smaller, well, I don't know about much smaller, but definitely smaller Fleshripper to ride on as well. But his is adorned in all sorts of gear. Feathers, armor, claws, horns. You can see. So I printed this one with some feathers on it. And then he is much less pieces because he's actually just basically a two-part model here. As you can see, we've got adornments all across his back. Axe blades hanging off of his tail. I guess as he's whipping it around, these things are swinging around as well. That's going to be fun. And then you can have Man Cutter perched on top. The fact that he is not attached to the saddle is good news for everybody who wants to have a set of extra large Carnosaur type models, I guess. They definitely would work for that. Size-wise, I'm not sure. I don't own any plastic Carnosaurs anymore. Or at least legit GW ones. I think I might have a Troglodon upstairs that needs a base, but I'll grab that. I'll see if I have it. And in the meantime, I'm going to put these guys together. They don't look super complex, but they do look like they're going to be fun and big once they're finished. So sit tight and we'll see how things turn out. Okay, we've got our Fleshrippers all put together here. Let's grab their nice, big, thick and chunky bases here. You can see they're a bit scarred up from me playing around with them. Let's start off with the smaller one, Man Cutter. We've got him right here. Smaller is a very subjective word, and unfortunately I cracked his toenails. 1,000 pardons, my lizard friend. Unfortunately. So he's got little indentations on the base. You can see for each foot. I mean, I guess if you wanted to use this base for something else, that would totally be doable. He obviously wants to be glued. I'm going to grab some blue tack. Just shove it under his foot there. Squish, squish. Better, but I probably should put one under the other foot as well. And zoom it out so we can get a better look. And get that off my fingers. Here we go. Much better. And somewhere on my table of clutter, I should have Mancutter himself. Where did you go, my friend? Aha! There you are. Did I show him off already? I can't even remember. In case I didn't. There you go. Very lizardy. No tails on our lizard friends, though. I don't know if that's a deal breaker for anybody. I find the pose awkward. I know he's like lurching over to take a bite of something, but I still find it awkward. And his big brother is much the same. He is going to be posing. Oy, oy, oy. Thankfully, I gotta say, I've been using this water washable resin, and it feels a lot more durable. And like when you cut it and scrape it and work on it, it feels a lot more like actual cast resin. But I gotta say, everything has been quite durable, as I hopefully don't just snap that nail off. So you can see he is quite a bit larger here, the bigger scion of Ziskal. Where's a regular sized human when you need one? We'll grab a Frostgrave human so you can see they're big models. They are quite large. In fact, here is the Deep Cuts T-Rex for comparison. Pretty comparable to Mancutter and his rider. If you have a Troglodon, for example, I gotta say, lengthwise, yeah, the GW model is going to be a bit longer if you wanted to use some of these in lieu of that. Obviously, the Carnosaur based on a similar sized body, so definitely could do that there. If I pop you off the base for a moment, just curious. I mean, it does work. It's not, you know. But then again, with the larger one, it's pretty comparable as well. And it's not like GW is the only game in town that has dudes riding giant lizards and dinosaurs and such. So I think if you're into having big, massive reptilian monsters on your table, I don't think you can really go wrong with either of these. They are quite large. For the most part, everything fit together pretty nicely. You can see a couple of little seam spots, but I think if you have a little bit of, you know, putty in there, filler in there, green stuff, whatever your fillable gap closer of choice is, it's definitely some easy work there. So big, thick, chunky models, nice and hollowed, and I think will look quite nice with just about every other large-scaled theropod that you might have in your collection. Definitely some fun stuff. Probably not as big as the King of the Monsters from Lord of the Print, but since I've got him halfway primed and I need to work on him, I can't show him at the moment, darn it. And he's upstairs anyway. So, we'll put a link down below to Archvillain Games' My Mini Factory and their Patreon page if you guys haven't had a chance to take a look at their stuff. They continue to put out big, crazy, nicely detailed models, definitely in a class of their own in terms of that. And I am always eagerly looking forward to seeing what else they've got coming next. With that said, this has been High Lord Tamberlane with Obscurities and Miniatures, and thanks for watching, and we will see you back here soon. Bye-bye.